Marijuana, the dried leaves and flowers of the Indian hempweed, is used in the form of a cigarette. Marijuana smoking, experts point out, can make a helpless addict of its victim within weeks, causing physical and moral ruin and death. Should you ever be confronted with the temptation of taking that first puff of a marijuana cigarette, don't do it.
Anything to get a blast. Anything to burn his mind, hothead. They think they can go out and get high. They think they can get turned on with pot. They can get loaded, they can get stoned. 57% of the student body was smoking pot. Smoking pot. It fascinates and then assassinates and then it kills. A drug epidemic that's sweeping our nation. Anything to get a kick, anything to get a blast, anything to burn his mind. Quit playing games with God.
Aunque en todo el mundo las personas han estado fumando marihuana desde hace miles de años, la costumbre solo alcanzó a los Estados Unidos a comienzos del siglo XX, cuando llegó al suroeste con una ola de mexicanos en busca de trabajo. Para estos pobres jornaleros, fumar marihuana era un modo de relajarse tras un largo día de trabajo en los campos. Pero a los americanos blancos de la frontera no les gustaban mucho estos extranjeros, ni sus extrañas costumbres. Se rumoreaba que la marihuana les daba a los mexicanos fuerza sobrehumana y les convertía en asesinos sedientos de sangre. Una tarde en El Paso, algunos tejanos blancos afirmaron haber sido atacados por un mexicano que se volvió loco por la planta asesina. De inmediato el Consejo Municipal aprobó una ley prohibiendo la posesión de marihuana. Proyectada en principio para controlar la marihuana, esta ley enseguida pasó a ser un modo de controlar a los mexicanos. A diferencia de las gentes de El Paso, la mayoría de los americanos nunca habían oído hablar de la marihuana. Estaban más preocupados por el aumento de la adicción al opio, morfina, cocaína y heroína, verdaderos problemas serios de salud pública. Pero en lugar de tratar la drogadicción como un problema de salud pública, el gobierno federal puso el control de estas drogas en manos del Departamento del Tesoro, quien creó la Oficina Federal de Narcóticos.
Harry J. Anslinger, Commissioner of the Federal Bureau of Narcotics.
The Treasury Department intends to pursue a relentless warfare against the despicable, dope-peddling vulture who preys on the weakness of his fellow man.
El primer cruzado americano contra la droga fue Harry G. Anslinger. Un evangelista de la ley y el orden, Anslinger moldearía la actitud hacia la marihuana de las generaciones venideras. Como muchos americanos, Anslinger era un prohibicionista. Estos ciudadanos de correcta moralidad sentían sinceramente que el progreso solo podía conseguirse controlando los impulsos depravados de las masas. Él pensaba que si las leyes eran lo bastante duras, América podría librarse del alcohol. Mete suficientes personas en la cárcel y finalmente el público aprenderá a comportarse. Aplicó la misma filosofía al organizar la guerra del gobierno contra las drogas.
Special Treasury agents are part of a massive force created solely to control the traffic in narcotics.
You got any merchandise obtained in Canada or abroad? No. Have you any liquor? No. Get out of the car and let's take a look at it. Come on.
Move over, J. Edgar Hoover. Here come the agents of the Federal Bureau of Narcotics.
Como G. Edgar Hoover, Anslinger posaba para las cámaras, creando la impresión de que desmantelaba una gran red de narcotráfico tras otra. Pero pronto descubrió que vigilar 48 estados con un presupuesto reducido por la depresión era imposible. Su solución fue intentar convencer a los estados que vigilaran el tráfico de drogas ellos mismos. En una campaña incansable, se reunió con cada estado intentando que firmaran un acuerdo para que asignaran recursos a la lucha contra la droga, pero solo firmaron 9 estados. Los otros 39 lo interpretaron como una interferencia federal en sus asuntos. Fue una gran derrota para el joven comisionado para la droga, pero no era de los que se rinden. Entretanto, la marihuana, transportada por marineros caribeños, llegaba a ciudades portuarias como Nueva Orleans. Conocida como porro, té o canuto, era popular entre los aficionados al jazz porque hacía que la música sonara mejor. Desde aquí, los músicos la llevaron Mississippi arriba, a los centros urbanos del norte. Con la aparición de la marihuana en las grandes ciudades, Anslinger pensó que podría ser la respuesta a su problema. Si lograba convencer a la América Blanca de que la marihuana era una amenaza mortal, tal vez los asustados votantes empujaran a sus legisladores estatales a firmar el Acta Estatal Antinarcóticos.
You want to kill me? In this case, the state waives trial of the defendant, Ralph Wiley. It is convinced that he is hopelessly and incurably insane, a condition caused by the drug marijuana to which he was addicted. It is recommended, Your Honor, that the defendant be placed in an institution for the criminally insane for the rest of his natural life.
I see no reason why the request should not be granted.
Wrap your child round this stick of cheese. Blow this game and get high with me.
Decidido a que el acta se aprobara, Slinger desató una campaña mediática para hacer creer al público que esta planta poco conocida, que crecía en los bordes de las carreteras comarcales, era la mayor amenaza a la que América se había enfrentado nunca.
Parents, beware. Your children, homeward bound from school, are being introduced to a new danger in the form of a drugged cigarette, marijuana. The Chicago mother watching her daughter die as an indirect result of marijuana addiction told officers that at least 50 of the girl's young friends were slaves to the narcotic, continuing addiction until they deteriorate mentally, become insane, and turn to violent crime and murder.
La campaña de Slinger estaba hecha a medida para la prensa amarilla y fue apoyada por un ejército de grupos moralistas. Cautivó la imaginación del público.
Movietone News, covering the world to bring you the news.
He's the man that smokes that job will take you for a dive. Once this beat till the night, when you smoke that in his eye.
America is threatened by a new drug menace. Street corner vendors whose stock in trade is the deadly local weed marijuana passed out in cigarette form. From ingeniously concealed containers, the reefers go to the waiting hands of deluded youngsters.
When you smoke that in his eye.
Police find a city backyard full of dope. This innocent-looking weed is Mexican marijuana, which when smoked produces more nightmares than opium. Captain Mooney of the narcotics squad will tell us something about it.
The constant use of these marijuana cigarettes causes temporary insanity. Yes, smoke that in his eye.
Let's go, Jack. I'm red hot.
Our state voted for the Uniform Narcotic Act, and so should yours.
La campaña de propaganda tuvo más éxito de lo que Slinger hubiera soñado jamás. Uno tras otro, estado tras estado, todos firmaron.
When you smoke that in his eye.
Gentlemen, take your seats.
Pero ahora, completamente aterrado, el público americano exigió que el gobierno federal aprobara nuevas leyes para luchar contra la marihuana. Los aterrados votantes querían acción, y su gobierno respondió. Sin ningún debate público, investigación científica ni objeciones políticas, el presidente Roosevelt firmó y convirtió en ley el Acta Fiscal sobre la marihuana. El acta prohibía la posesión de marihuana en todos los Estados Unidos en un permiso especial del Departamento del Tesoro. Y el Departamento del Tesoro no daba ningún permiso, logrando así que la marihuana fuera ilegal. De la noche a la mañana, se creó una nueva clase de delincuentes.
To the treasury agents of the Bureau of Narcotics comes the job of wiping out this traffic. And in 1937, we smashed 10 major narcotic rings. Only the cooperation of an awakened public will make the hell of it.
The latest craze, the country's rave is jive, jive, jive. This modern freak makes life complete. Jive, jive, jive. All the jive is gone. All the jive is gone. I'm sorry, Kate, but you got here late. All the jive is gone. All the jive is gone. All the jive is gone. So come on in and drink some gin. All the jive is gone.
La primera persona condenada fue Samuel R. Caldwell, un hombre de Denver de 58 años. Al sentenciarle a 4 años de trabajos forzados en Leavenworth, el juez Foster Symes dijo: «Considero la marihuana el peor de los narcóticos. Bajo su influencia el hombre se convierte en una bestia. En el futuro impondré las penas máximas. El gobierno hará cumplir esta nueva ley al pie de la letra».
Prohibition cannot be enforced for the simple reason that the majority of American people do not want it enforced and are resisting its enforcement. That being so, the orderly thing to do under our form of government is to abolish a law which cannot be enforced, a law which the people of the country do not want enforced.
El alcalde de Nueva York, contrario a la prohibición, Fiorello LaGuardia, mostró su escepticismo sobre las afirmaciones del gobierno de que la marihuana estaba causando asesinatos, violaciones y la destrucción de la juventud americana. Encargó un estudio a un grupo de 31 científicos imparciales para descubrir la verdad de los hechos. Tras 6 años de investigación médica y sociológica, el estudio de LaGuardia descubrió que fumar marihuana no conducía a un comportamiento violento o antisocial. Fumar marihuana no causaba deseos sexuales incontrolados. Fumar marihuana no alteraba la estructura básica de la personalidad de la persona. Punto por punto, el informe de la investigación refutó cada efecto negativo afirmado por Harry Slinger. Slinger se enfureció y utilizó su influencia con la prensa para desacreditar el informe y destruyó cada copia que cayó en sus manos. Después, evitó cualquier otra investigación restringiendo el suministro de marihuana. Para no correr riesgos, Slinger ordenó a sus hombres que sacaran los trapos sucios de cualquiera que discrepara con él, y pasando a la ofensiva, acorraló a la industria del entretenimiento, a la que veía como una influencia degenerada y amoral.
I told you I'd wait until he was grown. Well, now he's growed and he gets his legacy. Only it's made out of hemp.
Queriendo evitar problemas con el gobierno, los estudios de Hollywood accedieron a dar a Slinger control total sobre los guiones en los que se mencionaban las drogas. Y las películas que él consideraba sospechosas simplemente las prohibía.
jokes, of ice cream cones and chocolate sodas. Youth is a time for getting a job, for finding one's place in the world. But sometimes in these troubled days, the very thoughtlessness of youth has led to a living nightmare. Addiction to drugs.
What's that? H? H? What's H? That's a lot. It's heroin. Will it make me sick like the reefers did?
Marty's story is like many of the others. It started with marijuana cigarettes.
Come on, it's my turn next. Gee, Duke, where'd you get him?
I know a guy. 3 for $1. Let me try.
He was determined to be one of the gang if it killed him. And it almost did. Several weeks later, after smoking reefers, Marty's befogged brain hit on a clever way to open pop bottles. Later, Stan went to the hospital for swallowing broken glass. Marty badly cut the inside of his mouth, though he didn't even know it at the time. Before long, Marty was hooked, physically dependent on heroin. Nothing mattered but the ever-present craving for the drug. He had given up interest in everything else.
I get no kick from champagne.
A finales de los años 50, la preocupación por la marihuana fue eclipsada en los medios por un nuevo temor: el aumento de la adicción a la heroína entre los jóvenes, quienes se veían abocados al delito para mantener su hábito.
I want the money, old Sam. But you're crazy. The money! I know you. They'd put you in jail. Just get the money. No, please, no!
Este nuevo miedo a la heroína dio a un envejecido Slinger una nueva forma de atacar la marihuana, y era la respuesta a cualquiera que pudiera dudar de su gran peligro. Fumar marihuana, afirmaba, era un camino directo a la adicción a la heroína.
Satan is real, working in spirit. You can see him and hear him in this world every day. Satan is real, working with power. He can tempt you and lead you astray.
An individual, then, who tries the drug just for fun, or experiments with it, acts exactly like a person, loads the gun, puts a bullet in, puts it up to his head, very carefully, hopes for the best, and pulls the trigger.
Please stand by.
Teenage narcotic addiction. Is there an answer?
Have your name, please?
Robert M. Conlon, Commander of the Detective Bureau, Culver City Police Department, Culver City, California.
Is there any general personality traits that would apply to addicts?
Well, yes. Most of these addicts are very sick, and they are a menace and have to be arrested. I get a lot of self-satisfaction arresting those people.
And what about teenage addiction? How does that come about usually?
They start out by using marijuana.
And do most marijuana users finally go on the hard stuff?
Yes.
What kind of changes could be made to improve the narcotic situation based on present knowledge, Bob?
Well, Paul, the addict is a sick guy. And anything that could be done through legislation to make the penalty far greater, I am sure would be appreciated by every cop on every beat throughout the country.
Your name, please?
Harry J. Anslinger.
And your position and occupation?
Federal Commissioner of Narcotics.
Al aparecer en las vistas sobre delincuencia de Kefauver, Slinger apoyó la proposición del senador Hale Boch de incrementar las penas para todos los delitos de narcóticos. Se necesitaban penas más duras, aseguró, porque tras cada traficante de drogas había un comunista preparándose para derrocar a nuestro gobierno.
According to all the documents that we have been examining
Today, the major source is Red China.
And do you see a marked increase in the amount of drugs circulating in this country, which you believe come from Red China, since China went communist in 1949?
Oh, very much so. Under the nationalists, they had the situation pretty well under control. There were about 1,000 executions a year under the nationalist Chinese government. I haven't heard of anyone being wounded under this regime.
Aunque no existía prueba alguna de una trama para drogar América, el país estaba dominado por la histeria de la Guerra Fría y ningún político podía permitirse ser indulgente con el comunismo. El presidente Truman aceptó el consejo de Slinger y firmó el Acta de Bogue, que aumentaba de forma dramática las penas por posesión y decretaba sentencias mínimas obligatorias.
There's a considerable amount of heroin coming out of China.
You mean Red China?
Red China, yes. And,
Aprovechando la racha, Slinger pidió leyes aún más duras y logró que el presidente Eisenhower las presentara en el Congreso. El acta de control de narcóticos puso a la marihuana en la misma categoría que la heroína, lo que suponían las mismas penas. El primer condenado por posesión fue sentenciado a una pena mínima de 2 a 10 años en prisión. Además, varios estados añadieron sus propios castigos. En Missouri, una segunda condena por posesión podía suponer la perpetua.
This is Lieutenant McGee, the Atlanta Police Department. We got the stuff right away before the man had a chance to distribute it.
Do you think this stopped the entire operation?
Yes, sir. I'm sure of it.
Have you ever seen anything like it before?
No, sir. Not in my career. I haven't seen that much marijuana.
Okay, I'm going to get a different lens on you here. Is it sound pretty good? Yeah.
Apuntando a lo más alto, Slinger fue a las Naciones Unidas y utilizó la influencia americana para convencer a unos 100 países de que unificaran sus diferentes acuerdos sobre drogas en un tratado único inflexible y legalizando la marihuana en todo el mundo. Este fue el mayor logro en la cruzada implacable de Slinger para criminalizar el uso de marihuana.
Harry Jacob Anslinger, distinguished citizen, in your dedicated efforts to combat the illegal traffic in narcotic drugs, you have fashioned an effective organization to pursue this objective. Your noteworthy achievements in this field have earned for you the respect of the world community. Signed, John F. Kennedy.
Al abandonar la oficina que había consolidado bajo 5 presidentes diferentes, Slinger advirtió a sus sucesores de una inminente revolución de las drogas, que en su opinión sería nada menos que un asalto a los cimientos de la civilización occidental.
Responsibility only to oneself. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of pleasure. the new Declaration of Independence for the teenager around the world. Smoke a joint, burn a little grass. Pot party, roach party, mainliner, skin pop, shoot some crystal. The language of the narcotic and marijuana user. The language of a large and ever-increasing number of teenagers. Starting in high school on Benzedrine and Dexedrine pep pills, it is not long before many soon graduate to marijuana. For some, it quickens sexual desire. For some, it is the release of sexual inhibitions. But whatever it is, teenagers are going for it. And may be the forerunner of a new drug society out of some science fiction writer's imagination.
Will drugs pave the road to destruction for the now generation?
Una nueva generación descubrió las drogas en todos los campus del país. Rebeldes y dispuestos a experimentar, descubrieron que les gustaba alterar su percepción.
Do you smoke pot? Yes, I do. Do you smoke marijuana?
Yes.
Do you smoke pot?
I've been smoking pot for about a year.
Have you found it addictive?
Oh, no. I go for months and months without smoking it, and then I'll smoke a lot, maybe in a week.
Well, the argument is made that pot leads to the addiction to heroin or other narcotics. Have you found this to be so among the people that you know?
No, not at all.
The people who use the stronger drugs, the opiates, etc., are not the people who smoke marijuana, and the people who smoke marijuana do not use the other drugs.
Poco a poco, la creencia de que la marihuana era peligrosa comenzó a cambiar. Muchos estudiantes vieron en fumar marihuana un rechazo de los valores establecidos, una forma de declarar su independencia.
At this point, we're going to leave Golden Gate Park to go into the Haight-Ashbury district of San Francisco. The last 18 months has seen a tremendous increase of the so-called hippies. This is a protest against the middle and upper class people of San Francisco, in fact, of the area. It is the belief of the people who live within the area that we, the middle class, have done a very, very poor job in running our government and our way of life.
This weekend, Jefferson Airplane on Friday, Grateful Dead on Saturday, the Carousel Ballroom, high above Market and Van Ness.
Anybody hungry? Hey, how about we order some Chinese? Order some Chinese to do what?
Federal Bureau of Narcotics, please hold. Federal Bureau of Narcotics, please hold. Federal Bureau of Narcotics, please hold.
El nuevo jefe de la Oficina Federal de Narcóticos, Henry Giordiano, se dio cuenta de que tenía un problema. Para subsanarlo desarrolló una campaña con la esperanza de que fuera creíble para las nuevas generaciones. Si fumas marihuana, te convertirás en un perdedor desmotivado y disfuncional.
If you become a pothead, you risk blowing the most important time of your life, your teenage. That unrepeatable time for you to grow up and to prepare for being an adult that can handle problems and make something meaningful out of life. Or you have the choice to have the courage to see and deal with the world for what it really is. Far, far from perfect, but for you and for me, the only one that...
Al ser tantas las personas que probaban la marihuana sin efectos perjudiciales, el público exigió saber más y por primera vez el gobierno federal aprobó su investigación científica.
The plain fact is that none of us know very much about this drug in any verifiable way. Well, Bill, it's been about 2 hours since you got the drug. How do you feel?
Fantastic. Defiant? Not at all. Business-like? Not at all. Sheesh. Friendly? Extreme. So ridiculous.
Would you be interested in taking part in a study like this again and having the same type of drug?
Sure.
You would. It's been a very pleasant experience for you.
I'll do it anytime you want.
Do you think it would be...
Any time at all. Just call me any time of the day or night.
And we found out that the drug makes people happy, it makes them intoxicated, and finally makes them sleepy, which is about what marijuana users were telling us happened all the time.
Hey, last call, folks. Drink it up. Oh, it's nice to see you, Bob. How's the wife, huh? Kids are okay? Good. That's right. Let's drink to tomorrow. Hell, let's drink tonight. Hell, let's drink.
It says right here that alcohol does more harm to your nervous system.
Stop reading that underground trash and pay more attention to your homework. All that drivel they talk.
We don't smoke marijuana in Muskogee. We don't take our trips on LSD.
Al presentar a las nuevas generaciones como hippies drogadictos o manifestantes contra la guerra, los americanos conservadores reaccionaron con tal miedo y odio que estuvieron a punto de desgarrar el país.
This is Fire Support Base Aries, 50 miles northeast of Saigon. Vito is a 20-year-old draftee from Philadelphia. A photographer before he entered the Army, Vito is now a squad leader, responsible for the lives of a dozen men.
Well, it's sort of a shotgun. What we basically use it for on the LZ and I guess even out in the field too, if you want to know. Is that we use the shotgun from a ball. You know, you just put the ball in the chamber and all. Paul, let me buy that ball from you. I heard this is probably all SIDS and we're getting busted, but I don't care.
Shotgun.
What's happening here is also happening to some extent at virtually every other American installation in Vietnam. Recent surveys estimate that well over 50% of the soldiers in Vietnam use marijuana.
You get really stoned. Then, you know, who likely cares about the war? This war.
It is time for an honest look at the problem of order in the United States. So I pledge to you, we shall have order in the United States.
Manipulando los miedos de lo que él llamaba la mayoría silenciosa, Richard Nixon cimentó su campaña presidencial alrededor de un tema central muy susceptible, como era restaurar la ley y el orden. Y funcionó. Nixon estaba decidido a ser recordado como el presidente de la historia que más luchó contra el delito. Pero la mayoría de los delitos caían bajo jurisdicción estatal y fuera de la influencia de Nixon. Sin embargo, había un área en el que el gobierno federal sí tenía poder: las drogas. Al comienzo de su primer mandato, Nixon lanzó la Operación Intercepción, un ejercicio de estilo militar, descrito oficialmente como la mayor operación de búsqueda e incautación del país en tiempos de paz. Se desplegaron 2.000 agentes de aduanas por toda la frontera con México. Sus órdenes: detener la marihuana.
This is the biggest mistake the government of the United States has made, and the biggest offense they have done to the Mexican people.
I think it's excellent. I think if it stops the marijuana flow in Los Angeles and the southern cities, I think it's excellent. If it doesn't, then I think our time is wasted.
Aunque pasaron más de 5 millones de ciudadanos americanos y mexicanos por este tamiz, apenas se interceptó marihuana. A las 3 semanas, la Operación Intercepción fue abandonada. Ahora, queriendo aparecer aún más intransigente con el delito, Nixon desembolsó dinero federal para equipar, entrenar y educar a policías locales por toda América.
In the day-to-day conduct of your police duties, no matter how or for what reason you're called to investigate a situation in a residence, use your eyes to detect evidence of marijuana, hashish, or narcotic violations. The evidence you're looking for is here, all right. But it has to be located before you can read it. Use your eyes. Ashtrays are logical places to use your eyes for evidence of marijuana violations. There are some noticeable differences between a marijuana or grass joint and the butt of an ordinary cigarette, clearly visible even at a distance to those who use their eyes. This, of course, is marijuana itself, the best evidence of all. It has distinctive characteristics. Learn them. Use your eyes. It also has a distinctive aroma, so use your nose as well as your eyes.
Police officer, open the door. Right here.
Al dispararse las detenciones, las condenas ya no se limitaron a las minorías. Ahora la mayoría de las personas encarceladas eran chicos blancos de clase media.
Why do you smoke marijuana?
It's really very simple. I smoke it because I enjoy it.
It doesn't worry you that you're breaking the law?
Sure, it worries me. I mean, it worries me because I don't want to get caught. I do not want to go to jail for something that I consider a pleasure and harmless to both society and myself. I'm not hurting anybody. I'm not hurting myself. Why should I be punished for it?
When Don
John Crow was convicted of selling marijuana to an undercover agent, there seemed reason for hope. It was his first offense, after all, and the amount had been small, less than 1 ounce. But the jury saw its duty, sentenced 50 years in prison. For Crow, 25 years old, newly returned from Vietnam, it was a bitter pill.
I had the feeling that I was fighting for my country and for my fellow man. And it is kind of depressing to know that I could come back and be given 50 years for allegedly selling some a lid of marijuana.
This is the Purple Heart that he received the first time that he was wounded.
There is a mother's pride as Mrs. Crow recounts Don's military record, but it is hard for her, too. He loved his country, she says. He was a good boy.
Well, we were naturally so proud of him when he was over there, and when he came back and all this happened, well, of course, I've just been heartbroken, and I think it is a little severe penalty.
I don't think that a kid should have their entire future career blighted by having an arrest record for being caught in a room where marijuana was kept, or for smoking a joint of marijuana when they're a kid in college or a young kid. And that's exactly what happened.
Everyone here seems to emphasize the kids.
How can you communicate with them when they got flowers in their ears where they can't hear, and hair down to their hip pockets?
The young person, other minority group members have a much greater chance of being arrested and are arrested. And if this continues, we're going to decimate the youthful population of America. That's exactly what's going to happen.
If any one of us has a kid who's arrested, there's going to be an arrest for a narcotic violation on his record for the rest of his life. He can't go into Peace Corps, he can't teach school, he can't be a cop. What's the difference? If he committed murder, he'd have an arrest record. Fine, if he committed murder, he harmed someone. Can any law be effective, especially a law dealing with marijuana, when there is so much controversy from so many eminent people? No law can be effective that actually that tries to regulate or legislate private morality. You can't make homosexual laws effective. You can't make. Could you pass a law that says it's a crime to masturbate? You couldn't enforce it. There's laws on the book that say thou shalt not fornicate either, and you wouldn't go around arresting kids for fornicating. I know you're wrong. You don't even know it's against the law. You're a hell of a cop.
As a matter of fact, sex is illegal in most of America.
Everything's illegal in America. You know, it's either illegal, immoral, or fattening. It's that simple. I think we've come to somewhat of a conclusion here in that the law is not very effective. No, it's not. How can it be effective when you have 10,000 kids in one city are being arrested in 1 year? The law is not effective.
Al comenzar los padres de clase media a preguntarse ¿por qué está mi hijo en la cárcel? Más y más americanos comenzaron a sentir que el problema no era la marihuana, sino las leyes sobre la marihuana. Parecía que el apoyo para la revisión de las leyes sobre la marihuana llegaba de todas partes. Incluso los oficiales federales admitían que las penas no estaban funcionando.
A conservative estimate of persons in the United States, both juvenile and adult, who have used marijuana at least once is about 8 million, and may go as high as 12 million. Can you imagine what would happen to the law enforcement and correction system of this country if each of these 12 million people had been caught by a policeman when smoking his first marijuana cigarette? The first place in which legal reforms can be made is in the removal of mandatory minimum penalties in all cases of drug abuse.
Al sentir esta agitación entre el pueblo, el Congreso aprobó el Acta de Control de Sustancias, donde se eliminaban las penas mínimas obligatorias y se reducían los cargos por posesión.
she dead?
Not yet. This picture was taken at 10 p.m. The girl lived until midnight. Any questions?
But I maintain the evidence against marijuana isn't in yet.
Well, sir, will you concede that it might be as harmful as alcohol?
Well, all right, but it's no worse.
No, sir, I hope not. Because according to U.S. government figures, between 5 and 6 million people in this country are physically and mentally sick as a result of their use of alcohol. If marijuana possesses only half the potential of alcohol for violence, criminality, accidents, and social degradation, do we need pot?
Nixon no estaba dispuesto a que un puñado de decadentes liberales arruinara su agenda de lucha contra el delito y alistó a productores de televisión y estrellas del espectáculo para enviar un enérgico mensaje moral a cada casa, cada escuela y cada iglesia de América.
I've done a study of drug abuse, and I'm right in the middle of the whole thing, so I can do the most good.
Some people say that in a matter of months, Acapulco Gold will be available over the counter, menthol and king size, which is an indication of how little people know about marijuana. Today, research scientists are studying its effects on the brain, the nervous system, chromosomes, various organs of the body. Maybe it'll turn out there's no reason for it to be illegal. But nobody can be sure until all the facts are in. And until they are, it's a pretty bum risk.
Asqueado por la idea de suavizar cualquier ley, Nixon mantuvo que hasta que no se supiera más de los peligros de la marihuana, las leyes no cambiarían. Con ese fin aportó millones de dólares para encontrar esos peligros.
Many of us are concerned that a large percentage of our young people are breaking the law by smoking marijuana. As you know, your own White House conference, youth, voted to legalize marijuana. I know you've thought about this problem, and I wonder if you'd give us some of your thoughts on it.
Well, that's a fair point. As you know, there is a commission that is supposed to make recommendations to me about this subject.
The recommendation of the Commission in its first report is that we do not feel that private use or private possession in one's own home should have the stigma of criminalization, that people who experiment should not be criminalized for that particular behavior.
El informe de la Comisión Presidencial sobre la marihuana encontró que el uso de marihuana en sí mismo no causaba criminalidad, que las leyes actuales en contra conducían a una persecución selectiva y la policía era sospechosa de utilizar estas leyes para detener a gente con cortes de pelo censurables por el color de piel o sus ideas políticas. El enorme coste que conllevaba aplicar las leyes contra la marihuana superaba con creces cualquier valor disuasorio. La comisión había realizado el estudio sobre marihuana más exhaustivo y de más publicidad de la historia. Nixon, furioso, lo tiró a la papelera sin llegar a leerlo nunca.
Mr. President? Okay. Whenever you're ready. I shall continue to oppose efforts to legalize marijuana.
Haciendo justo lo contrario de lo recomendado, Nixon declaró la guerra total a las drogas. Su principal arma, la DEA, una nueva agencia que combinaba todas las agencias antidrogas del gobierno en una superagencia todopoderosa.
That all there is? Last week we pulled 13 pounds of it up in about 5 different patches, and we got another 4 or 5 now that are really small patches. We're going to go ahead and pull them up today.
What do you do with the, you just come in and destroy the patch? Is that the idea?
we destroy the patch, and then we'll take it and burn it. Apparently, there is somebody coming back here and cultivating. Definitely. These are all in nice little neat rows. And it's kind of a rotating crop they've got. Some are smaller than others. How good is Georgia pop? I've never smoked it, so I don't know.
Con más de 4.000 agentes y analistas, la DEA tenía autoridad para pedir escuchas telefónicas, entrar en casas privadas sin llamar y reunir información sobre cualquier ciudadano.
Brewer and Shipley still one toke over the line, and now Wadsworth Mansion smoking a little Sweet Mary.
Entre tanto, en los suburbios, fumar hierba se convirtió en una moda entre los adultos de clase media, como el que toma un martini en la hora feliz.
Fry over a low to medium fire for about 5 minutes, stirring to avoid burning. Let it cool a few minutes, then grind it into a powder. Now you can do anything you want with it. Put it in ice cream, butter, milkshake, Jell-O, or put it in honey and freeze into squares for later.
Until recently, the use of marijuana was considered a youth phenomenon, a thing of campus protests, the counterculture, long hair. Well, not so in the 70s. Meet some of the criminals at large.
I spent a lot of time with my daughter and her friends, and they all smoked marijuana, and so I had to try it.
I first used pot back in the latter part of 1968, and have used it since then with some degree of regularity. I had some pot earlier today before I went down to court. I smoked at home, smoked at parties, many places. To me, it's a question of the rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You know, who owns me?
Cuando fumar marihuana se convirtió en una corriente dominante, los activistas pro hierba organizaron campañas de despenalización.
Last year in this country, there were 226,000 marijuana-related arrests. And although the police sometimes tell us that they're only interested in the pusher or the seller, as they say, the fact is that only 7% of those arrests were against the seller. 93% of those arrests were for possession and use. Now, what that means is that there were about 200,000 young people in this country last year who were given an unnecessary criminal record and all that involved for the rest of their life simply because they smoked grass, something which is a relatively harmless thing to do. So we're not trying to encourage the use of the drug. In fact, we're trying to discourage it. But we're trying to get the country to understand that there are other means to discourage the use of drugs other than the criminal law. And in this case, the use of the criminal law causes more harm than the drug itself.
John Sinclair, un activista político, se convirtió en el símbolo del movimiento. Recibió una sentencia de 10 por 2, 10 años en prisión por posesión de 2 porros.
This song I wrote for John Sinclair.
Acorde con los aires de cambio, la ciudad de Ann Arbor, Michigan, aprobó una ordenanza eliminando la posesión de marihuana del Código Penal, quedando como un delito menor, equivalente a una multa de tráfico. año más tarde, tras una votación pionera en su legislatura, Oregón pasó a ser el primer estado en despenalizar la marihuana por completo.
Here is a state that is not afraid to plow new ground in an area where there's a lot of hysteria. It's not going to be very widely understood. But I think as you look back over the handling of drugs, if you can keep it in for a few years, you'll see it was landmark legislation.
En 1974, Richard Nixon dimitió de la presidencia por problemas legales propios.
We don't want any penalties for the private possession and use and cultivation of marijuana.
Tras 4 años de despenalización, un estudio en Oregón no mostró incremento en el uso de marihuana, y sí un ahorro sustancial del dinero del contribuyente que antes se destinaba a su persecución. Por entonces, otros 10 estados habían despenalizado la marihuana. Gerald Ford, el sustituto de Nixon, continuó la guerra contra las drogas ordenando a las fuerzas aéreas que rociaran los campos de marihuana de México con el exfoliante militar Paraquat. Pero en las siguientes elecciones presidenciales tuvo que enfrentarse a un oponente inesperado.
I do favor the decriminalization of marijuana.
Can our government be competent? Jimmy Carter says yes. Jimmy Carter says yes.
Tonight on Headline News, President Carter proposes major changes to federal drug laws.
I support a change in law to end federal criminal penalties for possession of up to 1 ounce of marijuana, leaving the states free to adopt whatever laws they wish concerning marijuana.
Debido en parte al empuje del movimiento por la despenalización, el gobierno se preparaba por fin a abandonar su guerra contra los fumadores de marihuana.
Is that a joint, man? That there looks like a quarter pounder, man. There's definitely... Man, be careful with that shit, man.
Choke it up, man.
Kind of grabs you by the boo-boo, don't it? It was Italy, man.
Mostly Maui Wowie, man.
Yeah?
But it's got some Labrador in it.
What's Labrador?
It's dog shit.
What?
Yeah, my dog ate my stash, man. So I had to follow him around a little baggie for 3 days before I got it back.
That's heavy shit, man. Hey, man. Am I driving okay? I think we're parked, man.
Well, all right, you squares. Time to smoke. Everybody get high.
En los los tolerantes años 70, la marihuana parecía estar por todas partes. Había entrado en la cultura popular a través de la televisión y el cine.
The FBI claims that a huge shipment of grass, which they are calling killer dope, has been smuggled into New York City. The Bureau urges users not to smoke the weed, which is greenish-brown in color, not particularly seedy, and contains mostly cannabis buds. Warning symptoms are a mild euphoria, a slight rise in the pulse rate, some hallucination, and death by laughter within 15 minutes of ingestion. In an effort to aid the FBI in its investigation, Weekend Update is undertaking its own analysis of marijuana sent to us anonymously by any viewers who may be worried. Simply place a small sample of the suspected cannabis in an envelope and send it immediately to Chevy Chase, Apartment 12, 827 West 81st Street, New York City, 10053.
Pero no a todos les hacía gracia. Unos cuantos padres preocupados por el uso de la marihuana entre los adolescentes organizaron grupos de presión para combatir la nueva cultura.
This is a dashboard type that fits onto the dashboard of your car so that you can put pot in here, and then the driver and his date can get stoned as they're touring down the freeway. This is designed to put some pot in, and then you smoke the pot out of here. Now, you can toss a smoke to a friend if you want to. There are things like bongs, that's B-O-N-G. You put the pot in here, light it, the smoke travels down here, collects, and then you get a concentrated volume of smoke by sucking in like this. And I think the label is instructive. Bong, the only thing wasted is you. This too is a bong. It's called a power hitter, and it works by sticking a joint here and then blasting it into your lungs like this. Now, it comes as a Star Wars space gun also.
Oh, Jerry, you put in box on the bag. We'll make you,
Yeah, we have to leave, I'm sorry. And you are closed, officially closed as of now.
Most of the afternoon was spent trying to decide what actually were head shops and drug-related paraphernalia. Managers and owners from head shops around the area testified that the law is now so ambiguous that possibly as much as 80% of their inventory could now be considered illegal. One owner admitted he may be out of work within the week. But Judge... Okay. Most of the afternoon was spent trying to decide what actually were head shops and drug-related paraphernalia. And... Okay. Most of the afternoon was spent trying to... Most of the afternoon was spent trying to decide what were head shops and drug-related paraphernalia. Owners and managers of head shops around...
En medio de estas reacciones, el doctor Peter Byrne, consejero jefe de Carter en política de drogas, se vio envuelto en un escándalo relacionado con el uso de cocaína. Con la prensa a sus espaldas, el presidente no podía seguir pareciendo tolerante con las drogas. Su propuesta de despenalizar la marihuana moriría en el Congreso.
I'm sick and tired of hearing about all of the radicals and the perverts and the liberals and the leftists and the communists coming out of the closet. It's time for God's people to come out of the closet, out of the churches, and change America. We must do it.
Empujados por un ensalzado sentimiento de indignación, la derecha religiosa se transformó en una fuerza política importante. Tras un breve periodo de tolerancia, América se preparaba para un nuevo gran giro hacia el otro extremo.
Leading medical researchers are coming to the conclusion that marijuana, pot, grass, whatever you want to call it, is probably the most dangerous drug in the United States, and we haven't begun to find out all of the ill effects, but they are permanent ill effects. The loss of memory, for example.
This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
Just say no.
Just say no.
In her crusade for a drug-free America, Mrs. Reagan led school
Our police officers in schools to spy on children yesterday ordered mandatory drug testing for all federal employees. He then called for the nation's industries to screen their...
The Supreme Court has given school principals the right to strip search any student suspected of drug possession.
Citing a threat to national security, the president today signed legislation allowing law enforcement agencies to seize property from... Under President George Bush's new zero-tolerance policy, marijuana smokers...
Using illegal drugs is against the law. And when you're caught, you will be punished. Some think there won't be room for them in jail. We'll make room. The rules have changed.
In a speech to the Coast Guard today, George Bush said that drug trafficking should be grounds for the death penalty.
I'm proposing $250 million, $2.2 billion, $8 billion, the largest increase in history.
Desde que el presidente Clinton comenzó su mandato, han detenido a más de 3 millones de personas por posesión de marihuana, más que en cualquier administración anterior. La continua declaración de guerra del gobierno de los Estados Unidos a la hierba, una y otra vez, ha demostrado ser equivocada y completamente inefectiva.
That being so, the orderly thing to do under our form of government is to abolish a law which cannot be enforced, a law which the people of the country do not want enforced.
With your caress, sweet marijuana, marijuana, help me in my distress, sweet marijuana, please do. You alone can bring my lover back to me. Even though I know it's all a fantasy, and then put me to sleep, sweet marijuana, marijuana.
Hotheads, anything to get a kick, anything to get a blast, anything to get a kick, anything to get a blast, anything to get a kick, anything to get a blast, anything upon his mind.